What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit a bell notification, put it on all so you get notified of all the latest content as and when it drops on this channel. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about Olympic boxing, specifically female Olympic boxing, because there was a bit of news about this. I heard about this today, about this news. Wasn't aware of it before then because it's been a bit difficult for me to follow it. I haven't really followed the games too tough this year. But anyway, so when it comes to female boxing, they're now going to allow men who identify as women, biological men who identify as women, to compete against biological women in the 2024 Olympic Games. And for me now, and I think for anybody with common sense, anybody who understands basic biology, this is extremely dangerous and this is extremely evil, because I'm a person, I've watched boxing for practically my entire life, and one thing's for sure, boxing is an extremely dangerous game. I know two very good fighters, and I've seen their careers and their stories, and their stories always stick out to me, who sustained serious injuries, and they were from punches in the boxing ring. And there's two individuals, Gerald McClellan, who is now, I think he's deaf and he's also blind, he's in a wheelchair. He's completely reliant on care, 24/7 care around the clock because of injuries he sustained in a boxing ring. And that's biological male in Nigel Benn against biological male. That's two men fighting, and those sorts of injuries were sustained. You've even got guys like Spencer Oliver. He suffered neurological injuries. Thankfully, he was able to recover. There was more medical care for him. But then you've got guys like Michael Watson, who also sustained terrible injuries in the ring as a result of boxing matches, as a result of that punch by Chris Eubank Sr. And he's now completely reliant on a carer. He had to relearn how to walk and everything like that. And you've got guys like Mike Towell and others. You've got fatalities. I think Sergey Kovalev mentioned that someone he fought died as a result of he knocked him out, and this guy was comatose and he passed away as a result of that. So we know for a fact that boxing is an extremely dangerous game. It's a game that I like. I love the sweet science, and there's an art to it, and there's so much to the game. But we know for a fact, anyone that watched boxing and knows it or has done it knows that it's a very, very dangerous game. And even when you get it as it should be between two men or between two women, there are serious consequences at certain times. There's been fatality after several fatalities in boxing. It's not happening all the time, but there's several that we can name. We know that there's neurological damage that can get done in that boxing ring. So it's a very, very dangerous place, even when you just got the two men in there. So to allow a biological man in there against a biological female is very, very dangerous, and it's very, very stupid, and it's evil. And I know that they're trying to follow the political line. They're trying to keep everybody happy, and they're trying to be quote unquote inclusive. But I'm telling you this now, when you put biological male against biological female, you are playing with the lives of those females. Because as I said, I think earlier in this video, the man hits nearly doubly as hard as a woman. It's like the man hits 162% harder than a woman. So you're putting that woman in there against a man that can hit nearly doubly as hard as she can, that's about twice as strong as she is, and just physically tougher. Men are generally tougher, stronger, faster, more powerful. We hit harder, we can ragdoll, throw women around, because that's just biology. That's just how we're made up. That's just how we're created, how we're made. So when you put a man in there against a woman, regardless of what that man thinks he is, you're endangering the lives of female boxers. And what this will do, just like it done in other sports, I've seen it with the swimming, where you got a man who was like number 400 in the male swimming. He was a rubbish male swimmer. Now he goes and pretends to be a female. They allow him in, and he wins everything as a female swimmer. The same would happen in athletics. Imagine if, let's say, Usain Bolt was not retired, or he decides to come out of retirement and run as a woman. He'd mash everyone up. He'd destroy everyone. There's no woman that would be able to keep up with a guy of the caliber of Usain Bolt if it was athletics. You know, you name the sport, football. Let a retired male footballer go and play for, you know, whatever women's team in their league or whatever, and you see what happens. The man is going to dominate. Or you let a whole team of men just all identify as females and go and play in a women's football league. The men will mash them up. The men will destroy them. Let it happen in American football. Let's say the best American football team, or anyone, let's say the Dallas Cowboys or someone, let's say all those men said, you know what, we identify as females, we want to play against girls. Let them play against girls. They will destroy the females. Let it happen in MMA. You know, let one of those guys like Islam or any one of those guys say, you know what, I'm a female now. I identify as female. Let Islam loose against a female at the same way, and you'll see what happens. Let John Jones, the MMA fighter, identify as female and fight against a female. He will destroy females. Females will get killed when it comes to that sort of stuff, because especially when you're dealing with sports like boxing, MMA, anything like that, you're dealing with blows to the head. And as I said earlier, even when it's man versus man, we've seen fatalities, we've seen neurological damage, we've seen brain damage, all that sort of stuff as a result of man versus man. So you let female versus man, you're just asking for it. And who knows, we probably will have some sort of fatalities if they allow this to continue, because I think since they're allowing it this year, they'll probably allow it the next time and the next time and the next time. And if females keep going with it and keep jumping in the ring against these men, if the females don't boycott this Olympics, well, it's going to be the end of female sports. It's going to be the end of female boxing, because when you let biological men jump into a sport like boxing, where you're doing damage, is physical, you're taking blows to the head, blows to the body, it's serious. And this can actually lead to fatalities in the ring. And I think the only thing, since the Olympics and their committee is allowing this to take place, my opinion personally is that the women should go against this. The women boxers should just boycott this Olympics, because at the end of the day, as much as I support, they want to do their women's boxing and everything, that's fair enough, no problem. They can do that. But the reality is, you can't compete with your male counterpart. The male hits too hard for you. They're going to be too big, too strong, too fast, too powerful for you. So you're not going to beat them in that ring. So my thing is, I think for the females, when it comes to boxing and any other sport where they're allowing this, I think the females need to just boycott this thing, because that's the only way really to sort of win here. That's the only way here to sort of succeed in this thing, and to actually get some sort of justice here, because I don't think the Olympic Committee is going to stop with this. I think they're just going to keep going and going with this nonsense, with this insanity. So I think females, if you box in the Olympics and they're allowing this to take place, which they are, I think you should just boycott the Olympics. I know it's a hard one, because that's the hopes and that's your dreams and that's what you train for. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it, because you go up there, you run into a man that's bigger, stronger, that's not a female like you. He destroys you, he injures you, you might get neurological injury. There's some real dangers that come with this. So for me, I would say the women should just boycott this thing, because at the end of the day, it's not fair. It's completely and utterly unfair. It's insane and it's evil, and it could have deadly consequences. So that's my opinion on it. That's what I think of it, because I think this is just utterly insane that you just allow someone, because they've got this fantasy that they're a woman in their head, that you just go along with it. I think that's insane. I think people are, they need help. They need to be told the truth, the reality that no, you're not a woman, rather than going along with this fantasy. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out.